been thinking a lot about recently as we approach the birth of my son is how my husband and I are going to navigate family and friends taking and sharing photos of our child online. And it's so tough because I know it's such an exciting time of life. There's a new baby, everyone's excited, everyone wants to share the excitement. But I want to be really intentional around the boundaries that we set and the expectations we have of people that we trust with photos and videos to protect my son. And I want to protect him in two ways. The first is very simply, I would like him to own his digital footprint as much as possible. I know that having him own it 100% is never going to be realistic, but as much as possible, I want him to have that ownership when he gets old enough to consent to what he wants that to look like. But the second reason is to protect him from people online who might have more sinister intentions with those photos and videos. And this is such a difficult thing to talk about because it's one of those things that you almost don't want to think about, but you have only to look at the most saved videos of family accounts on TikTok to see what kind of content is saved. And again, I want to believe the best in people, but I know that there's a non-zero chance that someone of those 200,000 saves, 300,000 saves, didn't do that with the purest of intentions. And again, you just have to look at the pattern of what kinds of videos have that increase in saves to start to think, what's driving that increase in saves? I saw something recently that terrified me on TikTok. Long story short, an adult woman who has no following really, she's not a celebrity, she's a regular person, and she basically said that she was alerted to the fact that someone had taken one of her beach photos, put her into a bathroom, removed her clothes using AI, and then taken a second photo of her, a second real photo with her hair, and put the hair from the second photo on this nude photo. So it created a whole new photo that was not real, but that looked pretty real. And she was just shocked. She was like, I know what my body looks like. That was not my body. I didn't take that photo. And not only was it alarming that that happened at all, but it's alarming that it happened to her because she is not a celebrity. She's not someone that someone would seek out to do this to. It was a seemingly random case of this happening. And actually one thing she said that I've taken away is around being very mindful about the photos that you post online and how easy or difficult you make it for someone to remove your clothes. So when I think about these guidelines that I want to introduce to my friends and family, at first I was like, am I being unreasonable by asking people to post no photos of their nephew, of their grandson? Maybe I'll say it's okay for you to post, but only if it's a private account. But even with that, I got to thinking, because when I reflect on, for example, my Facebook page, I have people on my page that I haven't spoken to in 15 years. How well do I know those people? And now let's take that a step further. How well do I know, let's say my aunt posts a photo of my son. How well do I know my aunt's circle of people that she's connected to on Facebook? Not very well. If at all. Which leads to my next thought process, which is what really is the value of photos of my son being shared on something like Facebook or on Instagram to people who, the majority of which you don't really have a connection with. If I look at myself, if I look at anyone that I know, I don't think anyone really uses Facebook as an intimate way of communicating with people that they really care about. It's more of like a blanket update. And does my son need to be involved in blanket updates? I don't think so. To put it into context, I didn't even announce my pregnancy on my Instagram and Facebook page because the way that I see it, if people know me, they'll know I'm pregnant because I'll see them, because I will tell them myself. If someone matters enough to me to know that I'm pregnant, I will tell them myself. They don't need to see it on Facebook. I personally see what I do on TikTok. I've got an account for my dog with over 30,000 followers. I've got this account. I see this more as community building and knowledge sharing versus like sharing intimate things about my life. And sometimes I will share things about my life, but for example, like an image or video of my son is not going to be one of those things. Like that's something that I've kind of decided from now. I don't want to share my son's face on here with a bunch of people who don't know him. No hate to anyone who does do this. I think that it's such a personal choice. And maybe I'll change my mind. But for now, I feel very strongly that I don't want photos of him shared online. So here's where I've landed in terms of how I want to approach this. I think what we're going to do is basically ask family and friends, hey, if you take a photo of him and you want to share it, please ask us before you share it, saying that up front. At least that way we can say yes or no on a case-by-case basis. I think most of the time we'll probably say no, but at least we're giving people the option to ask. Like if, I'm making this up, his grandparents want to share one photo of him, I don't know. Again, I'm like, why would you need to share that on Facebook? I don't know, but we're going to ask them to ask us first. I think what we'll do is we'll create a private WhatsApp group and share photos there, but emphasize, please don't share these photos or videos with anyone outside of the group. If I send this photo to my cousin, I don't want her to then send it to my other cousin or to her friend or to whoever. If we send you a photo, we're sending you the photo and it's private. It's our photo that we're sharing with you privately. The next thing is around please don't take or share photos of him in the bath. So just saying that up front. And then in terms of what we will allow, I see less of a problem when it's like you can't see his face or if it's kind of like further away. It's really just kind of shots of like identifiable shots of him that I want to avoid. So I'm not going to be super paranoid about every single photo that's taken. It's just if it has his face in it that I want to be a little bit more mindful. So that's kind of where I'm leading right now. I'd love to hear how you're tackling this if you're a parent or if you're about to become a new parent. Have you had this conversation with your family and friends yet? Is there anything else that you think I should add in terms of, or things that I should think about when considering this topic? But please let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts as well.